holding a Chanel perfume. Did Jungkook just send a secret code? Fans believe something bigger is coming than anyone was told. Was it really just a magazine concept? Or did Jungkook quietly whisper a message to the world through a single bottle of perfume? Why did he hold Chanel that way, in that exact moment under the Paris sky, with that look in his eyes that fans swear was not acting? And why, within minutes of the cover reveal, did ARMY across continents start asking the same dangerous question? What if this is not the full story? On January 21st, 2026, the fashion and music worlds collided again when Yellow Japan officially announced Jungkook as the cover star of its special Spring 2026 edition. The announcement spread like wildfire. Jungkook, the youngest member of BTS, global pop force, solo star, and Chanel beauty ambassador, was revealed as the face of Yellow Japan 2026 Spring Jungkook Special Edition, a limited release scheduled for January 28th. The theme was called Jungkook in Paris, and the images showed him against legendary Parisian backdrops like the Eiffel Tower and Arc de Triomphe, dressed in simple but elegant looks, carrying one object that would set the internet on fire: a bottle of Chanel perfume. At first glance, it looked like a perfect fashion story. Paris, Chanel, Jungkook, romance, history, elegance, nostalgia. The teaser video released by Yellow Japan mixed black and white and color scenes. Jungkook reading a book about Gabrielle Chanel. Jungkook in a luxury hotel room. Jungkook walking Paris streets. Jungkook on a rooftop, the Eiffel Tower glowing behind him, slowly lifting a bottle of perfume to his nose, closing his eyes, breathing it in like it meant more than scent. It was beautiful. It was cinematic. It was emotional, but fans are trained to see what others miss, because Jungkook is not just a model in a photo shoot. He is a global brand. Every gesture, every accessory, every frame is read like a code. And this time, the code felt too loud to be accidental. Why was the perfume held so clearly, so carefully, so directly to camera? Why did the camera linger on it longer than on some of the outfits? Why did the teaser include close-up shots of the bottle as if it were a character of its own? Why did Yellow Japan's caption call his appearance a stunning arrival, not just a cover? And why did fans begin using a new phrase almost instantly? This is not a pose. This is a hidden ad. Jungkook is officially known as a Chanel beauty ambassador. That part is not secret. He has represented the brand in beauty campaigns, fragrance promotions, and public appearances. But what fans started suspecting was something bigger. Not just beauty, not just fragrance. Something deeper, wider, more powerful. A contract that might go beyond what has been announced. A partnership that might move him from ambassador to face of a global Chanel era. On X, formerly Twitter, reactions exploded. The hashtag JungkookSellJapan began trending. Comments flooded in. This is not magazine posing. This is commercial acting. That perfume placement is too perfect. Why does it feel like Chanel is testing us before dropping bigger news? This looks like a teaser, not a photo shoot. Fans began freezing frames from the teaser video, zooming into the bottle, comparing it to previous Chanel campaigns, analyzing the lighting, the hand angle, the label visibility. Some noticed that the way Jungkook held the bottle matched classic luxury ad poses almost exactly. Others pointed out that Yellow Japan had never emphasized a single brand so strongly in a cover teaser before. Then came the theory that refused to die. What if this cover is not just about Yellow, but a soft launch for something much larger? To understand why this speculation feels so intense, you have to understand Jungkook's position in global culture right now. Since BTS began its military hiatus era and individual members focused on solo paths, Jungkook's career has exploded in a way that even longtime fans did not fully predict. His solo album, Golden, released in 2023, did not just perform well. It dominated global charts, streaming records, international radio, fashion covers, brand deals. Jungkook became not just a K-pop star, but a mainstream global pop icon. Fashion houses know this. Luxury brands chase relevance, and relevance now lives where music, youth, and global fandom intersect. Jungkook brings all of that. When he walks, cameras follow. When he wears something, it sells out. When he touches a product, it becomes a symbol. Chanel, a house built on history, elegance, and myth, does not partner lightly. Every ambassador is chosen carefully. Every campaign is strategic. When fans saw Jungkook in Paris, in a Chanel-centered concept, holding perfume like it was a story itself, many felt something shift. It didn't look like a simple collaboration. It looked like the beginning of a narrative. Yellow Japan confirmed that the special edition would include a 32-page exclusive feature on Jungkook, including a deep interview described as must-read. The edition is limited, priced at around 1,020 yen, published by Hearst Fujingahosha, with pre-orders available through Amazon Japan. Other features include profiles of B, First members, treasure members, and L-men, and fashion guides, but everyone knows why people are buying this issue. It is for Jungkook, and not just for his face. For what his presence might mean, the cover images show him styled in classic silhouettes.
No loud logos, no flashy colors.
Just Jungkook, Paris, and Chanel. This simplicity is what makes fans nervous, because luxury marketing often whispers before it shouts. It plants images in your mind before it announces contracts. It lets you get used to a face next to a brand until you can't imagine the brand without that face. Fans started asking, is Chanel preparing the world to see Jungkook not just as a beauty ambassador, but as the symbol of a new Chanel generation? Could he become one of the main global faces of the house? Could this be the start of a multi-year, multi-category partnership? Fashion insiders know that big deals often appear first as concepts before becoming official statements. And then there is the emotional side, because Jungkook's image in the teaser is not loud. It is soft, thoughtful, almost lonely. He reads about Gabrielle Chanel. He walks Paris streets quietly. He smells perfume with closed eyes. He looks like a man remembering something he never lived. Fans felt something nostalgic, even sad, in the way he moved. And that emotional tone made the perfume feel symbolic, like memory, like identity, like a message about who he is becoming. Some fans wrote that the bottle looked like a bridge between past and future. Gabrielle Chanel's legacy in his hands. A young global artist carrying an old fashion house into a new generation. It sounds dramatic, but this is how fandom reads images. And sometimes fandom is right, because this is not the first time fans have sensed a bigger move before brands announced it. In the past, subtle magazine shoots, quiet appearances, and just concept images later turned out to be early stages of massive partnerships. Fans remember. Brands remember too. The official description of the shoot says it traces the history of Gabrielle Chanel through a historic session. That wording matters. It is not just fashion. It is story. It is legacy. And Jungkook is placed inside that legacy, not next to it. Then there is the timing. Spring 2026. A new season. A fresh year. BTS members slowly preparing to reunite after military service. Jungkook standing alone in Paris, building his individual image before the group returns. What if Chanel wants to tie itself to that moment? What if they want Jungkook as their global bridge between K-pop and high fashion, between youth and tradition, between Asia and Europe? The phrase hidden ad keeps coming back. Fans say this does not feel like ELLE selling magazines. It feels like Chanel selling a future. Some skeptics argue that fans are overthinking, that it is normal for a Chanel ambassador to hold Chanel perfume, that magazines often include branded items, that not every pose is a contract. And that is fair. But history shows that luxury brands are masters of quiet preparation. They test reactions. They read comments. They measure engagement. They watch hashtags. They see how the world responds before making moves. And the response to Jungkook holding that perfume was explosive. Within hours, the teaser video reached massive engagement. Comments calling him ethereal. Fans saying he looked like a living perfume. Hashtags trending. Pre-orders climbing. Fans in Indonesia, Japan, Korea, the US, Europe, all talking about the same image. The bottle, the hand, the look. What if that is exactly what Chanel wanted to see? There is also the question of why Yellow Japan called his appearance a stunning arrival. Arrival wear? In Japan? In fashion? In Chanel? Words and marketing are chosen carefully. They rarely waste emotion. The edition is not even out yet, and already people are calling it a collector's item. Limited stock. Predicted sellout. Fans rushing to secure copies. All before any official Chanel announcement beyond beauty ambassadorship. This is why the speculation feels dangerous. Because if fans are wrong, it is just imagination. But if fans are right, then this cover will be remembered as the moment people should have seen it coming. There is something powerful about Jungkook's current image. He is no longer just the golden magne. He is a man in his 20s, carrying fame, pressure, freedom, and expectation. Brands see that maturity. Fashion houses want faces that can tell stories, not just wear clothes. Jungkook can make people feel something by standing still, and Chanel is a house built on feeling, on myth, on the idea that fashion is not fabric, but identity. So when fans ask, did Jungkook just send a code? They are really asking something deeper. They are asking whether this image is a sign of a new chapter, not just for Jungkook, but for how K-pop artists are woven into the highest levels of global luxury. If Jungkook becomes one of the main faces of Chanel, it would not just be a brand deal. It would be cultural. It would say that the center of fashion power is no longer only in Paris, Milan, or New York. It also lives in Seoul, in fandoms, in digital spaces where millions move together. And maybe that is why this single image feels so heavy. Because it looks like the past and future touching. For now, there is no official announcement of a bigger contract. No press release saying Jungkook is the global face of Chanel Beyond Beauty. But marketing rarely begins with announcements. It begins with images. Images like a young man in Paris, holding a perfume like it matters. Images that make people talk. Images that refuse to feel accidental. Was it just a magazine concept? Or was it a whisper before a shout? Fans will watch closely. Every new Chanel post. Every Jungkook appearance. Every fashion week. Every interview. They will listen for hints. They will read between lines. Because this fandom has learned one thing. When Jungkook appears with something, something usually follows. And if one day Chanel steps forward and says, Jungkook is the face of our new era, people will scroll back to this cover and say, it started there, with a bottle of perfume, in Paris, in silence. Until then, the question stays alive. Was that really just a pose? Or did Jungkook, with one quiet gesture, tell the world that something bigger is already on its way? And as days passed after the announcement, something strange happened. The noise did not die down. Usually, magazine covers create a spike of excitement, then slowly fade as the next news arrives. But this one stayed. Fans kept talking about the same detail again and again. Not his face, not his outfit, but the perfume. The bottle became a character in the story. Memes appeared. Edits appeared. Slow-motion clips of him lifting it, smelling it, holding it near his chest, near his lips, near his heart. Why that bottle? Why that moment? Some fans began comparing this shoot with previous Chanel campaigns featuring other ambassadors. They noticed similarities in framing, lighting, emotional tone. Soft shadows. Close-up hands. Eyes closed. The way perfume is treated not as product, but as memory. As identity. As soul. And they began to whisper a theory that felt both exciting and dangerous. What if Chanel is already building a Jungkook-centered fragrance narrative, even if the world does not know it yet? Because perfume is not just makeup. It is the most emotional product in luxury. Clothes are seen, bags are carried, but perfume is felt in private. It lives on skin, on clothes, in rooms, in memories. If Chanel chooses someone to represent fragrance deeply, it means they trust that person to carry the soul of the brand. Jungkook's image right now is built on emotion. His voice is emotional. His performances are emotional. His fans connect to him emotionally. If Chanel wants a face who can make people feel something without speaking, Jungkook is a perfect choice. This is why fans say the pose did not look like modeling. It looked like storytelling. In one scene from the teaser, Jungkook stands alone in a hotel room, light from the window touching his face, holding the perfume like he is thinking about someone who is not there. He does not smile. He does not pose dramatically. He just exists. And that is what made people feel uneasy, because ads are usually loud. This was quiet. Quiet things often mean big plans. There is also the fact that Yellow Japan chose Paris as the main stage. Paris is not just a city. It is Chanel's city. Gabrielle Chanel built her legend there. By placing Jungkook in Paris, walking its streets, reading about Chanel's history, the shoot is not just showing fashion. It is symbolically inserting Jungkook into the Chanel story. Some fans wrote that it felt like watching someone being introduced to a legacy, not just wearing a brand. And then there is timing again. Spring is the season of rebirth, of new chapters, of soft beginnings. If Chanel were to launch something new, spring would